How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about SOFI, which was up 5.74% on the Friday. Of course, we've been seeing a lot of strength in the market. SOFI has been able to follow. So I'm going to give you guys the update since the market is closed today, but we will open on Tuesday. So I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder or you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know what it looks like in a bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. And then we're going to be going on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information. The reason why this is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know the buying and the selling behavior on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for SOFI. Let's see how it performed on Friday. So it ended up closing at $7.55, being up 5.74%. On the low, it tested $7.19, and then on the high, testing $7.68. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 38.264 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 46.407 million shares. So we have below average volume on the day, and we saw some strength in the stock. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is a daily chart, you can see from the RSI down below, it's at 55.37. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we are below the 200-day, but we are above the 21-day EMA and the 50-day. Oh, you know what? The 50-day is actually at $7.58, and we closed at $7.55. So we actually finished right below it. So taking a look at the price action, of course, SOFI is in a bear market since it is trading below the 200-day moving average. So going into Tuesday, we ended up seeing a high on the Friday at 768. So the next area that I want to see SOFI getting to is right here around 805. If we can break above 805, that's where I'm looking for us to actually fill in that gap to the upside, which I've talked about many times, right here around $8.45. So this is an area you want to continue to keep a very close eye on if we break above 805. Now, if we decide to have some consolidation, as long as we stay above the 21-day EMA, which is right at $6.99, or let's just call it $7, that'll be a great look for SOFI. Because keep in mind, on the Friday, we saw a low at $7.19. The bullish case scenario would be to form another higher low. So any support tested above the 719, because it is looking strong since SOFI has been able to form higher lows and as well as higher highs for the past 3 trading days. So there's a lot of momentum, and bulls are in control right now, especially with the RSI being at 55.37, and it looks like we could still go on a further uptrend as well. And if we decide to actually break through the 21-day EMA and for SOFI to start looking weak, you'd want to see price action below 650, because if it goes below 650, that's where we could potentially fill in the gap to the downside right here around 578. So now let's move on to the short interest information. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for SOFI. So scrolling down on the page, green rows indicate new positions, while red rows indicate closed positions. So when we take a look at the recent filings we have here for the 27th, JP Morgan Insurance Trust with a short position of 140 shares. And then we have Buzz Van Eck Vector Social Sentiment ETF that purchased 295,126 shares. And then we have FS Multi-Strategy Alternatives Fund Class A with a short position of 1,759 shares. We have River North Patriot ETF with 741 shares as well. As we go down for more of the 26, we have Cromwell Marketfield LS Fund Investor Class with a short position of 193,125 shares. And we have AQR with a short position as well of 7,681 shares. So we see a good amount of short positions being listed here. Now, when we take a look at the short interest, The off-exchange short volume ratio is at 51.86%, and then for the off-exchange short volume, it is just over 9.27 million shares. Scrolling down on the page, the short shares availability is at 1.3 million, updated 20 minutes ago, and then for the short ball fee rate, it is at 4.20%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume, we can see for the close of the 26th, it was at 55.43, and then for the close of the 27th, being at 51.86. So we do see a reduction there, and then taking a look at the short interest percentage of the float, it's at 19.67%, so SOFI does continue to have short squeeze potential. Now let's move on to the order flow distribution.
Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for SOFI. So we see on the inflow it's at 48.59 million, and then on the outflow it's at 55.95 million. So we had an outflow day. Taking a look at the breakdown, on the large it was 0.75 million, on the medium it was 29.82 million, and then on the small it was 18.02 million. And then taking a look at the outflow side, on the large it was 4.07 million, on the medium it was 34.49 million, and then on the small it was 17.39 million. Taking a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you could see for May the 27th we had that outflow of 3.31 million. Analyzing the numbers even further for the small scale orders that tends to represent the retail side, we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at the large, which represents whales, institutions, and funds, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was at 4.18%. No surprises there. We know that SOFI is a volatile stock. But one thing that was clear though, it showed a lot of strength due to the fact it still had an outflow day, but it was green. So let's go into the final thoughts and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for SOFI, when it comes to the price action, so we ended up seeing a high at $7.68. If you remember what I was saying in my previous video, I wanted to see some price action above $7.61. So the fact that we tested this high, SOFI definitely does look great for the coming week. We also have to take into consideration in a technical sense, it has been forming higher lows and higher highs for the past 3 trading days. So this is very bullish. And where we have the 21-day EMA, it's at $6.99. So we want price action to stay above this level, so essentially holding $7. If we end up having a pullback and we want to consolidate, even better. And the next level that we want to look for, if it decides to continue to move up from where it's at, is at $8.05. If we can break $8.05, that's where I'm going to be looking for that gap fill to the upside around $8.45, which I've talked about many times in my previous videos as well. The only time I start seeing weakness in this stock, unless it pulls back and it drops below $6.50, because we do know there's a gap that needs to be filled to the downside around $5.78. So again, add that to your homework. This is very essential if you're going to be trading this play. Also, when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership, we can see there's a good amount of short positions, but I'm not too surprised because we know how volatile this play is, and we know there's a lot of shorts who are invested overall. And then when we took a look at the short interest information, of course, SOFI does continue to have short squeeze potential. So that is why if we have a catalyst or when we start gaining some momentum, it can move very quickly. And that is why I always tell you guys, you don't need to be rushing into plays whatsoever. Be patient, wait for the right entry. Many people sending me messages saying, Dre, thank you for teaching us about this, because I was able to actually load up on some shares when it was trading in the $5 range and not having to rush. And I know a lot of you, especially when it comes to this bear market, you're looking at a lot of plays on your list, or maybe the stocks that you're actually holding in your long-term portfolio, and you're thinking about making decisions, whether you should get out of the play or just weather the storm that the market is going through. And I highly suggest this, whatever is better for your mental health, make a decision that will assist with that. This is very essential. The last thing that you want to do is to be inside of a play and you don't have high conviction. And since we're still technically in a bear market, there is a strong possibility SOFI could pull back and give away some of the gains that you're seeing right now. So just make a decision that is right for you. I want to make sure I really emphasize that, all right? So I can't wait to see how the stock performs going into tomorrow, and especially for this week. Come on, SOFI, break above 805 so we can see that gap fill to the upside. We'll be talking real soon.